So I just recently jumped into solo shuffle as a brand new enhancement shaman, and I've got to say the experience has been interesting to say the least. The overall synopsis of all of this is that it seems like enhancement shaman is just a whole lot of work for not a ton of payoff. At least not this patch. Next patch we are getting some love. It seems like it's pretty much just buffs effectively for everything. I know my build is getting better. It seems like pretty much everything is getting better next patch, which is nice. But even next patch, it's still going to be a lot of work relative to classes like, Fury Warrior, which can be effectively played with a Nintendo 64 controller. So you're going to be doing a whole lot, but it is very satisfying. You have a lot of satisfying tools in your kit, like Grounding Totem, like having like a really stellar Grounding Totem. It just feels good when you make a play like that. And Enhance has a very high skill cap. It has a very high skill cap damage rotation. You can definitely tell the good ones from the bad ones. Whereas with Fury Warrior, what's the difference, right? My solo shuffle rating has been incredibly volatile. I'll play all the way up to 2K, which admittedly is pretty high rated right now because everything's so deflated. The best players in the world are playing at like 2100, 2200 rating right now. So I'll play all the way up to 2K, and then I'll drop all the way back down to 1800 because I feel like Enhance is very prone to blow out lobbies, and it's either one of two extremes. The first extreme is the one that everybody knows about, which is where you're just waddling around, you can't move, can't touch anything in a full range lobby. Everybody knows about that, and those are frustrating, but I'll honestly say the second example, which is the full melee Zug lobby, is even more frustrating. I'm running into this issue more at the higher ratings. At lower ratings, maybe the players just aren't good enough at, doing damage to where this isn't an issue. But I'll notice at like 2K, when you get a full melee lobby, it's almost like a guaranteed loss because you just get out dampened. Every round goes a very long time, but eventually your toolkit as an enhancement shaman just gets less and less effective because you don't have a mortal strike effect, and a lot of your kit is balanced around off healing. So your off healing gets worse and the mortal strike effects get better, and you just lose all these rounds late into the game. And I'm not sure what to do. Maybe as a newer enhancement shaman, I'm just doing something wrong. But that is almost more frustrating than the full range lobbies, because at least the full range lobbies, I've got grounding and I've got wind shear, and I've got some tools to sort of deal with that. But when you're just getting run down by melee that are just effectively, just better than you, I don't know, it just kind of sucks. My best matchups are by far the balanced lobbies where it's one melee DPS and one ranged non-hunter DPS. Emphasis on the non-hunter part. Another thing I'm really struggling with is the hunter class in general just seems absolutely obnoxious. Because again, none of my toolkit really helps me against hunters. Wind shear doesn't help. Grounding totem doesn't help. Can't really line of sight them because they just Tokyo drift around the pillar because they have infinity mobility. They do insane damage. So I really struggle against hunters. I almost wasn't here to make this video today because yesterday I queued into 2 full hunter lobbies. Every DPS was a fucking hunter. And not only did I get that, I got that twice in a row yesterday. I almost blew my brains out. And I still managed to get a couple wins in that lobby, believe it or not. Jesus prevails. With all that being said, I'm actually pretty happy with how well I'm doing. If you remove Saul and Big Dam's alts from the leaderboard, I'm actually the number 3 shaman in the world right now. And I'm only halfway kidding about that. So I'm having a pretty good time with it. I'm also having fun with the fact that I'm playing something very unique. Pretty much every shaman is running the Lava Lash build, which is good. It's admittedly very good, and it is by far the best build for coordinated, organized 3v3. You can't really get away with the Storm Strike stuff against, a coordinated team in Voice that are actively exploiting shaman's weaknesses. But in solo shuffle, and especially in BG Blitz, my crazy Storm Strike build is good. And I would love to see Saul or Big Dam or, one of these like better players than me actually play my build and see what it's really capable of. Because I think this build is genuinely, like, unironically pretty good. I know you guys have seen the meme clips of me just one-shotting people, but like I actually think it's actually pretty good, like outside of just the funny ha-has. And in solo shuffle, man, the build has a serious X factor that I think a lot of people don't appreciate, and that is the psychological impact of when you one-shot somebody in a random solo shuffle lobby. That healer is now playing worse the entire next 5 games because they are overcompensating for the fact that you just got a cheesy win, and they're probably getting flamed, or now they're like a little bit more trigger happy on their defensive. So I think the nature and how it does its damage is very important as well. But the Lava Lash build does have effectively very high DPS when you factor in you're using globals for utility. But I don't know. We're gonna stick with Storm Strike for now because it's just got that crazy X factor of you can just kill somebody at any point. Seriously. Speaking of high damage, think about how stressful this must be to play against. This can happen at any point. Now, this sequence is with cooldowns pop, so I do pop Doom Winds, but look at how quick that damage comes out. If that hunter wasn't on the ball with his aspect of the turtle and that healer didn't follow up like he did, he would have died. Like, I have to show this in slow motion so you can genuinely appreciate how much damage I did and how quickly it came out. Now, he's going to survive for a little bit, but later on in the game, I'm going to kill him with no cooldowns out of nowhere. Like, look, this looks like typical gameplay, right? Surely he's in no danger. He gets topped up and he fucking falls over. What? Yep, he just died to random procs outside of cooldowns. Randomly. It was a surprise to me too. And here's another example of just how chaotic playing against my build can be. Imagine you're this enemy hunter. Everything seems fine. You're kiting me around. Your healer's not in CC. I don't have any cooldowns popped. You're safe, right? You know, you're kiting me around, chains of ice, rooted. Oh, and you just die. What? And for the final clip, we feature an Affliction Warlock. Now, I know the WoW community loves to armchair quarterback when it comes to PvP, and there will be people saying that he should have ported at 70% HP. He should have known. But think about this from the enemy Warlock perspective. He is at 65% HP in an Earthen Wall totem with a Demon Pact shield. And dies 2 globals later. That is absolutely insane. And there is no foreshadowing. Just Doom Winds, and 2 seconds later, you're dead. That's insane. And of course, after you kill somebody like that, they're gonna tilt. The Warlock tilts. This is a joke. The Shaman is mad at the Warlock. They hate each other. And now, disproportionately, the rest of the lobby is going to play worse because you did that crazy thing. Next up, we have some Evoker bullying, which is something I think everybody can appreciate. And watch the amount of disruption I have on this guy's cast. First cast, we're going to shear it with Wind Shear. Next cast, we're going to knock him up in the air with Thundershock. Then, we're going to Lightning Lasso him. And then, after the Lightning Lasso, full duration, we're going to shear him again on his cast. So just absolutely making this guy's life hell. Next up, we're going to hit him with a pretty crazy wombo combo, a Sunder into a Cap Totem, into a Deeply Rooted proc. We're almost going to kill him here. He had some pretty crazy movement. Like that, good props to him. That was pretty cool. So he's going to survive that, but we're not done bullying him. Look at this grounding totem. We get Living Flame, Disintegrate, and Death Coil with that grounding. Knock him up with the Flame Shock Dispel. And then we're going to knock him up again with a Thunder Shock on his cast. Then the next cast, we're going to shear that, get a Deeply Rooted proc, and then just absolutely laser him from distance for the kill. Next up, we have the saddest Arcane Mage of all time. Watch him try to get off this Arcane Surge. First one gets outranged. Next one, line of sighted. Then I'm going to knock him up in the air, and he's going to root me and blink away. Surely he'll get this one, right? 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 Oh, I ground it last second. Then I'm going to pop Doom Winds and proc a Deeply Rooted on the first Storm Strike and kill him through Alter Time again from range as a melee. Who doesn't love to see dead mages? Up next, we have a longer clip, but this is going to showcase how powerful Ride the Lightning can be against BM Hunters. All of these BM Hunter pets are actually working against him because they are providing a way for my Lightning to chain off of Stormstrike and the Ride the Lightning PvP talent. So his pets are actually sort of screwing him over and allowing me to do more single target damage. Now, one thing I do recommend as an Enhancement Shaman is anytime a Hunter is convenient to attack and he's like right next to you and you don't have to like use mobility to get to him, hit him. You do a lot of damage to hunters, and it's just worth getting on them. Now, this hunter is going to stay alive because that paladin used Lay on Hands and a bunch of cooldowns to keep him alive. But we're going to go back to the warrior. What you don't want to do is needlessly chase a target that you can't get to within a reasonable amount of time and just do no damage. So we go back to what we can hit, and my DK has a fantastic grip on this pally, so we're going to get him to bop the warrior, and we're going to get bubble out of this paladin, and I'm going to have a fantastic totemic projection here and totemically project my capacitor totem onto the hunter and the paladin, get an interrupt on the paladin. The paladin has no bubble, he's low HP, and I have Wind Shear, so he's totally screwed. He's going to go for the cast, I interrupt it, and I get a Deeply Rooted, just the cherry on top, and he's going to go down. This next clip is probably my favorite thing I've ever done on an Enhancement Shaman. It's against an Arcane Mage and Hunter. They're kiting the hell out of me, but guess who they forgot about? Their healer. He's still back here. He doesn't have the mobility, so we're going to pop Doom Winds and go to town on him. He's going to pop a bunch of cooldowns. He will survive this, but it's going to cost them quite a bit. Then I'm going to switch to the Hunter because he's just very convenient to hit. He's going to be right beside me, so you might as well jump on him. And we're going to get him to turtle away and disengage. Unfortunately, he does not die, but we get him super low. And now we're in chase mode. Going to shear the mage. We got to go slow-mo for this because a lot happens quick. I'm going to preemptively pop Capacitor Totem, ground the incoming Arcane Surge that would have killed me. Then I'm going to knock all three of them up in the air, totemically project the Capacitor Totem underneath them. They all three get knocked up, then all three get stunned, and the priest dies. Absolutely insane plays from your boy. Probably my favorite sequence I've ever done on Enhance. And because I know you guys need a detox from that Gigabrain play, we're going to have a slow motion clip of me mashing the Storm Strike key. So we're going to land a Wind Shear on that Paladin, and then we're going to solo this Hunter from 86% health with Storm Strike. So here we go. Storm Strike, Storm Strike, Storm Strike, Storm Strike, and he's dead. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been having a ton of fun learning Enhance and playing something I've never played before. Let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments down below. Have a good one.